Most men talk, but only very few of them command respect when they speak. A lot of them mumble, a lot of them ramble, but if you're tired of being ignored, if you're tired of being dismissed, it's time to change the way you communicate starting now. And in this video, that's what we're going to do.
Hey, yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh.
Hey guys, Brennan Giebel here, and in this video we're going to talk a little bit around communication, how to command respect when you speak, and how you can get people to listen to you and actually want to listen to you, want to respect you. Now, communication for a lot of men seems to be very hard. A lot of them struggle with it. And I think there's so many blocks that stop us from allowing ourselves to speak our truth and to tell what's really going on because of all the programming about don't say this, you shouldn't say this, you shouldn't feel this. And it's hard to really communicate when you're trying to just think about everything, because your mind will start thinking and there'll be a disconnect between your mind and your mouth, and your mind will sound good, and then when you try and speak it just won't come out. And then we go, oh, I've got communication issues. No, it's because we're trying to speak from our head instead of our heart. And we could go on for hours about all of that. But in this simple little video, we're just going to talk about how to command respect and how to get people to listen to you. So the first key point here is power in your presence. The way you carry yourself before you even speak determines how people will respond to you. Having a strong posture, standing tall, head up, having eye contact, being able to make eye contact and look people in the eyes, and have a calm and controlled voice will then help you demand respect. If you're trying to speak quickly and try and get the words out and you're hesitant, of course people aren't going to respect you. They're not going to want to listen to you. The most powerful person in the room is the one who isn't afraid to be silent. You know, sometimes the silence is so powerful. Communication, if we talk in the communication model, the words we use is only 7%. Our physiology and how we use our body, that's about 54%. And then our tone, that's about 36%. So you can see that the words we use is a very small part. And having silence, using the tone and using our posture is very, very powerful. And that starts from just, how you carry yourself. Stand tall. I don't know if you have someone or you see someone that's kind of like walking around like this a little bit with their head down, they're kind of like this. They don't look powerful. They don't look like someone who commands respect. No, stand up, head, shoulders, chest back, head up. Like, I've got something important to say. That's what you want to have, that frame coming into it. So I used to do a little experiment. I'd walk around the shopping center and I would just look at people walking past and I'd be like, try and make eye contact with them. And the amount of times, more specifically men, that I'd be looking at them and they would looking at their eyes and be making eye contact. And then as soon as they kind of saw me, it was very quick to look away. Very few of them would actually make eye contact. And then if they did, I kind of just gave a little smile or this or whatever, and then just kept walking like it was nothing. But it was just like a little experiment to see how well do people hold eye contact. And so that is a big thing, to really allow yourself to handle eye contact. And if you need to push yourself into situations, if you need to stare at yourself in the mirror, it can be very uncomfortable for a lot of men. Stare yourself in the mirror, look at yourself in the eyes until it starts getting uncomfortable, and just breathe and let the feelings and emotions sit there. And start talking to yourself in there and hold eye contact as you're talking to yourself. It may be strange, it may be weird, I don't care, but it's going to make you grow so much. You're going to have more confidence and more presence just from doing that simple little thing. I used to have a very soft voice. I was very hesitant. I might be out of a social situation. I'd be like, should I stand here? And then I always kind of felt like I wouldn't have any presence, and I'd always kind of feel super important. If you're watching this video right now and you're like, this seems like a lot of work, it seems hard, I'm not built like this. Bullshit. That's just a bullshit story you're telling yourself. You've got to train. You can either train or you can play, and there's no in between. Now, we train men like you every single day. Men who want to take their life to the next level. Men who want to recreate themselves. Men who want to step up as the leader of their family, of their businesses, of their communities, of their companies. And so if you resonate with any of this, down below what you're going to see is a description of this YouTube video, and inside of that there's going to be a link. Click on that link, enter your name, enter your phone number, enter your email address, and my team will personally reach out to you, showing you the 4 steps and the 4 stages that can help you get to where you want to be. So if you're serious about recreating your life, if you're serious about stepping up into the man that you know that you can be, managing your life, managing everyone else's life because you manage your own, then Let's do it. I'd love to see you on the inside. Hesitant about where I should stand or what I should say. And I always found like myself on the edges of the conversation, and it was just like such an awkward experience, and I was like, I don't even want to be there, and I just avoided it. But it was from doing the inner work and becoming more confident within myself, then the presence and just owning it and just being able to walk in and say anything and be fine with it and not even worry about it, which is really the key point. You just act and you don't have to think about how it's going to happen. That's where true freedom comes, and that's when you own the power, right? And so Lao Tzu said, silence is a source of great strength. So don't be afraid to hold yourself and not say anything. Hold yourself and just, use the power that you have in the silence, in your presence. I don't know if you've ever been somewhere and you've heard someone or you've felt someone come into the room, or you haven't even spoke to someone, but you saw them and you're like, I don't like that person. There was something in you that's like, I don't like that person. And then they'd come and open their mouth and you're like, I knew it. I knew I didn't like that person. But that's the same thing. It's like that presence that person had didn't resonate with you. So we can either do that or we can have it the opposite. And it just coming from a lot of work within yourself and being comfortable within yourself. And if that means standing tall, if that means doing some mirror work, some eye contact work, practice looking at people in the mirror when you're really trying to talk to them. And fully focus on that. It may be uncomfortable, and worst case, you can just look away if you need to, right? But you're just starting to really train yourself to be comfortable in that situation, and the presence that you have is gonna just flow through that, and you're not even have to think about it. And so this leads me to the second point. Say less, mean more. Weak men ramble. Strong men speak with precision. Get to the point. Eliminate the filter words. Eliminate all of the little words that aren't necessary. Speak with certainty and your words will carry more weight. There's a book called Get Your Point Across in 30 seconds or less. And it's really powerful to be very clear, very direct. Like a lot of people, they ramble and they go off on a big story. You might ask someone a question and all of a sudden it's like 5 minutes later, you're like, I just wanted to know the time. And then you feel confused, you're not in the conversation, you just want to leave. That's not the best communication, right? And that person, you just want to find a way to get out of the conversation. And so sometimes we do that too. And if we're not really sure and certain on what we say, we then tend to mumble. And we may tend to speak a bit more faster and try and get through it. Or we just fill in all these words because it's like if we just say lots, it sounds like we know what we're talking about. But the rambling just confuses people. So there's a small little framework that I learned from one of my mentors in speaking and communication. And it's called the 3-2-1 process. And so there might be a topic or there might be something that you're talking about and you just follow the 3-2-1 process. And you don't have to go 3-2-1 in terms of each one. You might just pick one. So the first thing is number one is one thing. So it's like the main thing or one thing that you might talk about. Then there's 2 ways or 2 types. So you might say the 2 types of this are, or there's 2 ways that I did this, or there's 2 ways that you could do it. And then the last one is 3 steps. So 3 steps to do this. So you can use this in general conversation. You can use this if someone asks a question. It's really good for answering questions and to point puts out. It's like, if someone asks you, what should you do here? It's like the biggest thing I found is this. Or the one thing that I have found is this. You could literally talk about any topic. If I said to you, just tell me about food, you'd be like, oh, well, where do I start? But if you followed this 3-2-1 process, you could go food. The biggest thing about food is it's a big source of fuel for the body. Simple. Then if you go 2 ways or 2 types, right? So you can say there's 2 types of food. There's food for pleasure and there's food for nutrition and fuel. Simple, no rambling, straight to the point. People are like, makes sense. Then you've got the 3 steps. And so you can go, there's 3 steps to preparing a good meal or to cooking a good meal. 1, you've got to find a good recipe. 2, you've got to get all the ingredients. And 3, you've got to follow it to a T. Nice and simple. So it gives you a nice little framework on how to say less, but to be direct and to be more as well. Now, Gandhi said, speak only if it improves upon silence. Silence is very powerful, but if you speak, you want to improve on the silence. Sometimes no words at all is much more powerful than any words. So the less that you say, It's actually the more that you're saying. And so this kind of leads on to point number 3, master the pause. Silence is power. Instead of rushing to fill the gaps and to make sure that there's nothing and all your words flow and it's straight after the other, bang, 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 pause before responding. This forces people to listen and to respect what you're gonna say. You know, I see it time and time again with the events that we run, and there may be a man that gets up and shares. It could be a man, you know, in any type of thing. Obviously we work with only men, but there's different events I've been attending and there's men and women there. And a man might come up and he might then start tap into a bit of feeling. There may be a bit of vulnerability coming up, and it's almost like you can start feeling him getting into the emotion, and there's a pause. Now in that moment, he has everyone's attention. You know, he's powerful. There's strength and power in being vulnerable, and there's strength and power in pausing. So if I pause for a second here, now obviously I don't because it's a video format and I'm talking directly to you, but in conversation it's a lot different because you can talk, and in live audience format, but in conversations, you pause. Like if you want someone to say something, you just pause. But if you want them to ponder something, you just pause. Like I could just be talking about something and I could say, think about this. How would that make you feel? And then I would just pause and you would then start thinking that, and then I would go into the next one. So your mind is very good at filling in the gaps, and it will look for things. And that's how you get someone's attention too. It's like if I was gonna say something and I'm standing here and then all of a sudden I stopped and I was like, and the words were like on the end of my tongue, you'll kind of like lean in a little bit. You're like, well, what's he gonna say? What's next? What's he gonna say? And so this is how you can master the conversation as well, by mastering the pause. You can be talking to people and have the direct eye contact with them, and you can be looking at them and you can just pause for a second. And you might even, if you're very aware, you might even see them kind of lean in a little bit, right? They're leaning in. And so that is how then you master the pause, and you can have people respecting you and wanting to listen to you. Now, Mark Twain said, "The right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause." So maybe try it out when you're talking to someone. Just pause and see how it reacts, see how it goes, and how other people react, and how much more attention and respect you get from that. And remember, respect isn't given, it's earned by how you carry yourself and how you speak. Apply these principles and watch how people start listening to you more and how they start responding to you differently. Now you can go out and you can own the room, you can own the situation, you can own whatever it is that you are in, because you have these few key points. And so let me know how you go with them. Drop in the comments your biggest takeaway. I'd love to hear it. Message me if I can do anything for you. I got your back for life. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. You made it to the end of the video, and you are one of the top 1%ers who get to this point. Now, if you're sick and tired of not growing to the level that you want, if you're sick and tired of being the same spot that you were 12 months ago, if you're like, you know what, I've got so much more to offer, but I don't really know how to get there, then if that is you, down below, book in your call with one of my team. Just enter your phone, enter your email, and enter your number. And hey, look, we can't reach you if you enter details that are wrong. So enter your right details. We'll be able to reach out to you. We'll show you the 4 stages that we take men through that's going to completely rip you out of your current situation and push you in a new direction that where you want to go. I will push you as hard as I can to get that outcome for you, because I know how much the life is good on the other side of it when we get out of the shit, when we get onto where we want to go. So click the button and I'll see you on the other side.